Hello, bonjour everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching my video. Special thanks for those who subscribe to my channel. This video is about Flames of War and how it works. The subject is German Stormtrooper rules. And to help to understand that rule, it is important to know and understand the movement orders. So we're going to see the German Stormtrooper rules and also the movement orders in Flames of War. You may read about the Stormtrooper rules at page 87 and the movement orders at page 46 to 48 of the guideline produced by Flames of War and called Rule Book, or around that page depending which guideline version 4 you are reading from Flames of War. In the description below, I will place a timeline to make it easy for you to go directly at the subject of interest. The easiest way to understand the Stormtrooper move is to have a good understanding of the movement orders. So the first movement order we'll talk about is Blitz Move. The unit leader can issue a Blitz Move order on the movement step before its unit move. If he does this, you roll a dice. On a roll of 3+, you can do a Blitz Move. And then for infantry or tank, it's the same thing. You can move 4 inches in any direction, and you are not considered to have moved. So after you move your 4 inches in any direction, so if I look at it, I move 4 inches, and all the rest of my unit can move 4 inches. And you can do the same with your infantry, move 4 inches if you decide to blitz move with your infantry. From there, you may decide to shoot. If you decide to shoot at the enemy, because technically the blitz move, you did not really move, shot will be rate of fire at alt. So it's like you never move, so if the rate of fire of Panzer 470 is 2 shot alt, you are allowed 2 shot. Or, if you decide not to shoot yet, you can move. So you can make a tactical movement or a dash movement. The same goes for the infantry. You can decide after you move 4 inches, because you succeed your blitz move, do a tactical movement or a dash movement. If you do a dash movement, then you will not be allowed to shoot because you did a dash movement. If you do a tactical movement, you will be allowed to shoot, but because you did a tactical movement, it would be rate of fire of moving. So for the Panzer 470, it would be 1 shot each. Now, if your unit is over here, you give the order, a movement order of blitz move, you roll a 2 or less, then you fail your blitz move. Because you did not move, you fail your blitz, and you did not move, you can shoot at your enemy, and you will shoot out rate of fire because you haven't moved. You just give an order and everything gets confused. So when you shoot, you decide to shoot from there, you're going to shoot 2 shots, but the penalty would be +1. So if it is hit on the 4, would be hit on the 5. But you fail your blitz move, you decide to do a tactical movement. So when you're there, you finish your tactical movement, you may shoot with the penalty of +1 to hit on. So if it is hit on the 4, it will be hit on the 5. If there's any other change in the calculation because they are gun to ground or they are behind the concealment, then you add the +1, etc., and to reach your total for the dice you need to roll for. So the second movement order we'll look at is the shoot and scoot. A unit leader did not move in the movement step can issue a shoot and scoot order in the assault step instead of assaulting. So basically, so far, your unit did not move, he shoot rate of fire out, and at the end, after everybody had been shooting, when we get the step of assault, you may decide that unit will do a shoot and scoot, so it goes with the skill again. So you roll a dice, you look at your Panzer 470, the skill is Veteran 3+, or if there's another unit, they can have a tactic rating different, then you need to roll the tactic rating different. So you order to move up to 4 inches in any direction. So if I roll my 3+ or 4+, a 3+ in this occasion, so if I roll my 3+, I can decide after I shoot my 2 shots because I was out to move 4 inches, so I can go and start to try to hide 4 inches from the enemy and move away. So I can just say, I'm going to just move them far away from my enemy. So some would be hiding and more difficult to hit. Of these 3, you can move behind. Or in this case, you start to hide behind the house. The same applies to infantry, but I don't see much of the use of a blitz move in the case. They are infantry, they are already moving forward, so I don't see them moving out of where they are. But that is the shoot and scoot. So the third movement order is dig in. So your unit leader will decide in the movement step to give the order to dig in. To do that, again, you use your skill for the Panzergrenadier. The skill is veteran 3+, and some other country, they may have a different tactic, and it's say 2+ or 4+, whatever it is, the tactic rating at the top on the card. So the skill is veteran 3+, so that's what you use for your tactic movement or movement order. So I roll my 3. What it means is my troop can start to dig in. So they put themselves in foxhole. While they are doing that in the movement order, we do all the rest of movement for the other unit. In the shooting step, even though they just dig in the movement order, they can still shoot. But if you decide to shoot with them, you have to look at moving, a rate of fire of moving. So because they were digging in, they are considered to have moved. So it's not alt ROF, but a moving ROF. So they can say, let's shoot at the enemy while we dig in. So they are fighting at the same time, and it's perfectly allowed. Now the other option you may have is, we are digging in, and we have no intent to shoot at anybody at the movement step, at the shooting step. So they will become gun to ground. It's really important because now, when the enemy step turn arrive, this unit would be considered gun to ground, and fox also concealed and in bulletproof cover. So they are hit on the 4, they would need to be hit on the 6. 4, gun to ground +1, concealment +1, so we bring to 6. And if they are hit and they fail their save, the enemy will need to roll their firepower because they are in bulletproof cover. Now in the movement step, I roll and I roll a 2. So I fail. So they cannot dig in. But they can still shoot and be considered to have moved. So they cannot move because they fail. They have to stay there. But they have to consider to have moved so they can shoot at the rate of fire of moving. Now if they succeed in foxhole, they will stay in their foxhole as long as they do not move. If they are shoot at, they always be considered hit on the 4. Because they are in foxhole, they are concealed, so hit on the 5. And if they hit and you fail your save, they need to do a firepower because they would be in bulletproof cover. The 4th movement order is follow me. So how does it work? Most of the time you're going to do follow me after a dash move, because at the end of your follow me or succeed on that, you're not allowed to shoot or assault. So if you do a tactical movement, there's not many reasons to do follow me. So let's say my Panzer 470 just did a dash move, regardless the distance it is terrain dash, cross country or road dash doesn't change. You do your dash move. Now you may decide, okay, I'm going to do follow me. So how does it work? You take your team leader, so in this case this vehicle, and you can move forward another 4 inches. So we do the same. So we move another 4 inches. Now compared to all the other movement order, this one is not your skill, it is your motivation. So in the case of my Panzer 470, the motivation is 4+. So now to see if the other, you can motivate them to go forward another 4 inches, you need to motivate, roll a dice, and that dice has to be at least 4 or more. So there's a 50-50% chance. Let's say you succeed. So every team, part of the platoon, can now move another 4 inches if they are in command. So in the case of this vehicle over here, we look, is less than 16 inches, so we can bring another 4 inches. This one is also in command, so we can bring another 6 inches. But this one is not in command, so he cannot move. It's really important on the follow me. You can only follow me if you are in command. So some people will say, I want to do a dash move and then I'll do a follow me, so you already move infantry leader or vehicle another 4 inches. And he said, if I roll my motivation, I'm going to just move everybody the 12 to 16 inches, for example, for terrain dash for my Panzer 470. But actually, it's really important. You need to move all the unit, all the team. Because if you stop one a bit further down, because he moved is 12 inches and you bring it over there, he is still in command right now. But as soon as you're going to bring another 4 inches forward, then he will lose to be in command. So he's not anymore in command. So if you give the order, follow me, and they roll a 4 plus, then people who are still in command, so far enough to here, can bring another 4 inches. So in this case, those two go forward another 4 inches. And this one, because it's not in command, is not in command anymore. Now, like I said, whether they succeed or not, all teams from the unit that are in command cannot shoot this turn. So those one cannot shoot. They said this one can shoot, but technically, most of the time you're going to see a follow me on a dash move. Because on a dash move, they cannot shoot or assault, so why not do a follow me and bring it closer to the objective or what you are trying to do. So that's the basic of follow me. The fifth movement order and the last one is the crosshair. So what it does is your unit leader, you see the obstacle in front of him, in that case, that stone wall, and it's give the order crosshair. It's really important what it does, and you don't need to roll a dice for that. Is you look at your cross rating on your unit card, and instead the Panzer 470 cross rating is 5 plus. Now, if I want to go over the stone wall, my unit would need to roll a dice of 5 plus to be able to go over. Otherwise, they will stuck at the front, at the stone wall. So, for example, I will arrive here with my team leader. I need to roll a 5 plus to be able to pass and continue up to 10 inches and tactical movement. And every unit will arrive to the wall. If they fail, he stay there. He fail again, he stay there. He pass. He can continue. Now, if you give the movement order crosshair, your team leader will advance, arrive here. Doesn't need to cross on the 5 plus. He need to cross on the 4 plus. So if he roll a 4 plus, he can continue. Any other team in that unit can do the same, as long as where they cross has to be in 6 inches of where your team leader cross. So they can be anywhere against the stone wall from the team leader cross, as long as they are less than 6 inches of the crossing. Each of them will try to roll a 4 plus to go cross. If they fail, they stay where they are, and they succeed, they can continue. Now that you pass or fail your movement order crosshair, team using this order cannot shoot or assault this turn. So only one pass, the team leader, the others stay behind, or let's say 2 pass. Now your movement steps are done, shooting step. The entire unit, because they received your movement order crosshair, cannot shoot. So now we saw all 5 movement orders in Flames of War. So what is the best for people who play the German unit to have a really good advantage with that Stormtrooper move? So I'm going to show you a few examples of how it works, and you can imagine what would be the best way to use that Stormtrooper move for the German. So first we look at the movement orders, and we decide to use Blitz Move. What it does is my Panzer 470 are at the bottom of the hill, so they are hiding from the enemy on the other side. I roll my movement order, so it's a skill 3 plus, and I roll a 4 plus. So I can move 4 inches in any direction, and doesn't count as move. So my unit will move on top of the hill. And they have moved less than 4 inches. So in the movement step, I said I don't move. In the shooting step, my Panzer 470 will say I did not move, so my rate of fire is alt. I shoot 2 shots each at the enemy down the hill. Hit or not, destroy enemy or not, doesn't change. Now that the shooting step are finished, we are at the assault step. You can conduct assault, or in the case of the German, you can do a second movement order using the Stormtrooper rules. So I'm on top of the hill, I did not move, I shoot, I was successful with my Blitz move, so my first movement order. I can say I would like to do Stormtrooper rule, do a second movement order. And then the most obvious you will use is shoot and scoot. And what it does, shoot and scoot, is you roll a dice with your skill, and in the case of 3 plus, if you roll a 3 plus, then the unit can go back 4 inches. So they are back on the bottom of the hill. So the enemy don't see it, they cannot shoot at you. If you are on top of the hill, and you fail because you rolled 1 or 2, then you're on top of the hill, hoping to get shot at on the enemy next turn. My second example of Stormtrooper move, it is Blitz Move followed by a Follow Me command order. So my first command order would be for my Panzer Force 70, for example, Blitz Move, and I use my skill. By using my skill, I need a 3+. If I succeed, then I can move 4 inches without any penalty or having move. So I move 4 inches. All the team. Now from there, I can decide to stay where we are and shoot at not move at the rate of fire of Alt, but I can also move. So I may decide to do a tactical movement. If I do a tactical movement, I move 10 inches, and then I may decide to use the Follow Me order. And you do that when you finish moving. So basically, the Follow Me has to be done at the end of your movement step. So my movement step, I do my tactical movement. So I can give a second command, and that command can be Follow Me. So that is my Stormtrooper move. It is different from the first one. There's not really any use of doing Blitz, then a tactical movement, and then finish with a Follow Me where you cannot shoot in the shooting step. So most of the time you're going to see that movement is Blitz, succeed, do a dash movement. When your dash is finished, then you take your command vehicle and you bring it another 4 inches. Then you said, I use my Stormtrooper second movement, and it's going to be Follow Me. Then you need to roll a dice, and you need to match or higher than your motivation. In the case of my Panzer Force 70, my motivation is 4+, so I need to roll a 4+. If I roll a 4+, any team of my platoon that are still in command, so you need to be in command, so you need to be at least 6 inches from the main vehicle, can move another 4 inches. So the same thing as when we look at the movement order. If I have my team over here, my command vehicle is here, let's say, is one a bit further down but still in command, and we finish like that. Then I said, after my dash move, then I say, I'm going to go Follow Me, so I move 4 inches. I roll my dice, it's motivation 4+, I'm successful. I'm in command, so I can move 4 inches. I look at the next one, I'm in command, can move 4 inches, and I go to the last one. He is not in command, he has to stay behind. Now I cannot see any other way to use that Stormtrooper move. If you got any combination, let me know, and let me know how it works, because I thought about another ways. You start with cross air, across an obstacle, but it's really difficult because many will fail. So if they fail, technically, you cannot do another movement order because some fail, some pass. So you cannot do a Stormtrooper move because you need to succeed on your first movement order. So that's why I did not put any example for that. So anyway, that completes my video about Stormtrooper move, or the rule for Stormtrooper, for the German called Stormtrooper. And in the same way, I'll show you all the movement orders and explain them. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any comments, or if you have any way to do the Stormtrooper move, please write it in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon with my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.